Have you ever wondered why certain moments can take your breath away? I'm Jennie Sykes, corporate recruiter turned soul alignment strategist, energy worker, and your friendly neighborhood doula for every stage of life except the delivery room. Each week, we open the toolkit, tarot, astrology, hypnosis, Reiki, and more so you can trade confusion for clarity, and autopilot for intentional alignment. Whether you're navigating a career pivot, a spiritual awakening, empty nesting, or just the sacred messiness of becoming, this space is for you. You're not just evolving, you're remembering. Let's rise together. The Ascending Dawn Doula show starts now.
Hi, everybody. I'm Dr. Pat, and I get to take this amazing journey. We're going to do something a little bit different. Today, I am going to ask Jennie to give out her information multiple times in the show. What I love about this episode, it's called Holding Space Without Losing Yourself. It's about compassion fatigue and energy hygiene. And, you know, Jennie, thank you so much for this topic, because in the move that I made, I want to just tell you, Murphy's Law, like that one, I had Murphy's Law in reverse. I had nothing that wasn't done perfectly, on time, under cost. It was one of those things. But yet, emotions this time of year, I am finding people can't even hold the space to watch a movie. So before we begin, I want you to tell folks a bit about what you do to help them individually and businesses as well. This is so far-reaching that if we don't talk about it, how are we going to ever help? So please give out your information, and let's talk about why this topic hit you right upside the head, because it hit me upside the head.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dr. Pat. So my name is Jennie Sykes, as you know from a couple of other podcasts that we've had. We've had some great conversations. My goal and mission under Ascending Dawn Doula is to help those that are working through transformation and the end of life with transitions. But when we talk about transformation, it's everything from corporate careers to Saturn returns to empty nesting to divorce to reinventing yourself and going, what in the world is happening and how do I embrace it? But it's ending up infusing the holistic modalities that we love on this show, right? We love these things. And recently, yes, the compassion fatigue phrase came right in last week. And I said, okay. I have some folks in corporate America that made mention of this phrase, and I had never heard of the phrase. But when I started researching it, I said, holy moly, so many of us are going through that this year. And I can chalk it up to a collective personal 9, the ending of a 9-year cycle in numerology. I can chalk it up to the year of the snake, the transformation aspect of it. And all of that can be infused, but wow, the compassion fatigue that so many, and it's nursing, it's corporate America, it's caregivers, it's family members that are taking care of the elderly, right? That's their primary focus. Yeah, it's a big deal.
Yeah, and I'm going to throw one at your corporate friends too, because this one's super important. It is compassion fatigue around carrying emotions that don't belong to you. See, part of all of this, which doesn't get talked about, and I love compassion fatigue, I love that title, but there's a second part. There's like two sides to this coin. There's compassion fatigue, which we'll talk about how it shows up, but then there's energy hygiene. And what do? And I think my best friend who I'm here with is just getting ready to throw me out now, because I'm like, fresh start, everything's fresh start. But blah, 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 blah. No, fresh start, everything's fresh start. But it doesn't always happen that easy. So let's talk about in this episode, explain what this means, this term, compassion fatigue, and what does it mean to hold space. But before we do, what's your website? Let's get people to be able to get to you.
Absolutely. Thank you. So it's Ascending Dawn, as in the break of dawn, DAWN, Doula, DOULA.com. But I do have lots of socials out there, all under Ascending Dawn or Ascending Dawn Doula. And I have created also a community of Rise and Align on the platform of School, SKOOL. And I can put that into the notes later. But this is a really good, healthy spot to be with community, learn at your
Yeah.
own pace, lots of freebies, lots of complimentary video on demand. So
Yeah.
we're building a really healthy space.
And I want to give a shout out to all my recovery peeps. If you haven't been to at least 10 meetings so far this year in December, you need to double up, people. Just go ahead and do it. Even if you're kicking and screaming and you're saying, I'm so got 50 years. No, support is free. You got to open the door. So let's talk about this. What did you find out about compassion fatigue and what does holding space mean for this?
So, holding space, let's go with that one first.
Yeah.
We did a workshop a couple of weeks ago. It was a small, quaint 9-person workshop. And one of the persons there got into a space where she felt so much relief and safe space where she could be vulnerable. And she let out a lot of her experience. And all of us were standing, and there was something in me that said to not hug her. Let her
Mm,
release this. And I looked back at that. There were about 3 or 4 of us that chose to not console and not hug and not to do that energy exchange, but instead to hold space. We were active listeners. We felt her energy. We were grounded in the moment. We were there with her, right? But we were not infusing our energy into hers, nor were we taking on the energy of an empath and taking that home with us. So that's holding space, is being an active listener, being there, but not taking their emotions and allowing your body to soak it in like a sponge. And that is what so many of us empaths do, is we take it home. And I had a mentor many years ago that was like, if you're an empath, you need to check yourself. And she was very vocal about it. And I was like, well, being an empath is a pretty great thing. What are you talking about? Check yourself. And she goes, no, you're stealing other people's energies. You're taking it home with you. You're making it
mhm.
yours. It's keeping you up at night. It's draining you. It's making you feel lethargic. It's creating false realities. And I said, oh, that's a different side of empathy. So holding space is being active, but the compassion fatigue comes in when you are literally holding so much of somebody else's issue, somebody else's grieving, somebody else's burden, somebody else's emotions, and then you're taking it on yourself times 10 different people, right? That creates burnout, right? And you're
Yeah.
you're getting agitated and irritated and not sleeping well and not taking care of yourself. You're going home with everybody else's energy, and energy hygiene is critical,
Yeah.
critical to this.
Yeah. I work with Mary Jane Mack, who is my health, we call him health practitioner person.
Hmm.
Doesn't do any of the stuff you do, right? I talked to you about the new moon in Sagittarius, which is very cool, right? Um, but she introduced me to something called a Resemax, and a Resemax is an amazing small device that was programmed by a man who pretty much just everything you just talked about. Like it's just like fatigue, just burn. And what it does is it taps into the vagus nerve, and very simply you can wash away. And do you know I haven't done it since I've been here? So what's
Oh,
up with that?
it's time.
But you understand what I'm saying. It doesn't matter what
Absolutely.
you use.
Mm-mm.
We have to take action on our own.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing I reflected upon this year after learning more about this and how I have been with others over the last year,
Mm,
and we can go corporate America, we can go family, we can go friends. It has been pulling away, and it's not because sadness or depression or anything like that, which is totally normal in the human race, right? This is what we do. But it was pulling back, and I do believe that I had compassion fatigue, and my nervous system was on overload come March and April, and it was due to several human beings in my space that just blew it out of the water. And so I
Uh,
had to create healthy boundaries. It's very much like when you're on the plane, what do you do? If you've got a child or an elderly person next to you, you put your mask on first, right? Because you can't care for another human being if you're not available. You can't
yeah,
pour from an empty cup. So it's very
yeah,
interesting to learn more about this and then reflect on our own behaviors and how
yeah.
we move forward into 2026, how we're going to have those boundaries and be healthy and not curt and angry and irritated and doom scrolling until the end of the night, right?
Yeah. You know, resentment is the number one offender. And I watched a very painful 17-second statement that my best friend made to her family this year. No, I will not be coming.
Mm,
No, I will not be coming. And I don't need to go into, I mean, family is everything to my friend. So you can only imagine what level of compassion fatigue, all of those things for somebody to say, no, I will not be coming this year. And yet to watch the burden of the energy just flow off of her body,
hmm
right?
It's boundaries. And what a big decision. And I applaud your
Big.
friend for that because it's a very big decision. And she's not responsible for everyone else's response or reaction. And I'm sure she got a lot of different responses and
No,
reactions,
she
right?
didn't.
But
She
oh,
got
good,
none. Here, she got the
good.
typical. So here's what all y'all need to know. You cannot get grapefruit from a hardware store yet. You can't. I mean, I know some of you are going to email me like I get grapefruit from a no.
My local market, yeah.
But you see, this is related to this
Yeah.
because helpers become emotionally and energetic containers. And if we expect an outcome like grapefruit from a hardware store, and you know, this is really important to be able to recognize it. And I got to tell you, Jenny, you know, this is why you're so important in this role. Many of us can't see it. Like I did not see that I have not used that beautiful tool that I have since I've been here until this show. We can't do it alone. I've never been able to do it alone. And when left up to me, depletion. So
hmm
let's talk about the outcome. It's not just compassion fatigue, there's an outcome. It's called energetic depletion, isn't it?
100%.
Ouch.
100%. And I would love if we can in just a moment, just simple, freebie, complimentary. Everybody should do this. We should be teaching children how to do this. Energy hygiene. And it's so easy. So if I have your okay, I'd love to
Do
just
it.
do it real quick, real
Do
super
it.
simple.
Do it.
And anybody listening to this podcast or watching this podcast, however you are, just be with us for this mini moment, 10 seconds. I return any energy that is not mine, returning it back to sender. Second time. I return any energy that is not mine back to sender. Final time. I return any energy that is not mine back to sender with love for self, healing, compassion, forgiveness, and kindness. And so it is. That's it. Do it when you wake up. Definitely do it before you go to sleep. You do not want to take your stuff into dreamland. You want a beautiful
Yeah.
slumber, right?
Yeah.
And when you're surrounded by so many different people throughout the day, shake it off, shake it off. Take a moment. No one needs to know that you're even doing it. Say it internally, but do it with intention. That energy is not yours.
Nobody said it better than Elvis. Return to
Oh
sender,
my,
baby.
woo!
Return. No kidding, right?
I never even thought about that.
But that what that whole song was about that.
Wow, I had no idea. I had
Yeah.
no idea.
But when you said it, I got chills. Sierra's going to have to pull this off, and we will distribute that because that is so beautiful. What happens though? I want to ask you from your personal opinion because energy hygiene is important, and yet we compromise and negotiate it away. I did it, and I admitted to it right now, but I guarantee you, I'm going to be using my resume. But why do we give it away? Why do we put everything in front of it?
I think that we are conditioned, and that is such a great question. We're conditioned to be kind, lovely souls, taking care of our neighbors, our families, our children, our spouses, our best friends, our coworkers, the post guy, the post office guy. And I think that that is such a beautiful, beautiful conditioning that we have. It's a good condition that we have. But we give so much that we forget ourselves. And then we put ourselves in full depletion mode and then wonder what in the world happened. And the thing of it is, it's not being selfish to take care of yourself. Take a good shower, eat a good food, a good meal, right? Get some exercise and get some nature in. Give the energy back to sender with love. Not, I'm going to give you back your energy, right? You don't have to do it like that because you're going to get some bad energy coming back at you. But we do have to put ourselves in the driver's seat
Mm,
sometimes. And I think that is critical, especially if you're taking care of other human
mhm.
beings.
Let's get into a little detail about this because do want to talk about the non-negotiables, but also there are more ways to talk about it. Let's get into some specifics about the way this shows up because when we talk about this, it sounds so abstract, but it's
Mhm.
not. I mean, you and I know it because we've been there. But there
Right.
are things that happen every day in a day that cause us to have compassion fatigue. Everything from sarcastic comments that say, "Why didn't you text me about the here's one, this is true. So all you could talk to me about the ants that you found in the house, but didn't you see the air fryer that I bought for you?" And I'm like,
Yep.
I I can't even say what my thinking was. But there's subtle things, and the
Mhm.
passive aggressive versions of this happen in corporate America and happen everywhere, especially
Mhm.
when we try to hold space for our bosses.
Absolutely. And you said the phrase the right way, the passive aggressiveness, right? And that's just a form of anger coming out. It's leaking. That's the best way to say the anger that's within, that's rooted actually, not in anger, it's rooted in sadness or not being heard or not being seen or being irritated. That anger leaks out into passive aggressiveness when you're not confronting that scenario firsthand. I had somebody the other day, we were sitting down for lunch, and this person just started they walked in, and to break the ice, they mentioned something about somebody's name. And I thought,
Oh,
I haven't spoken with you in months, and the first thing that you're doing is mentioning something about somebody's name. Now, I hold this person in high regard, very intelligent human being, but also burnt out, also compassion
yeah,
fatigue.
yeah. We have to be mindful. I want to flip a little bit. I want you to help us with energy hygiene of the mind.
Mm.
Let's start with that thing. Because if people are thinking, "Oh my God, what do I need? Vitamin?" No, let's start with the energy hygiene of the mind because we have full control. Viktor Frankl said it better than anybody in a concentration camp. He demonstrated the power of creating positivity in a concentration camp. So you and I should be able to help a few people. I want you to repeat the phrase you said before
Which
about
one?
return to sender.
Oh, return to sender. Oh, well, with returning energy back to sender with love for self, love for others, compassion, healing, forgiveness of self, forgiveness of others. You're
And
shaking it all off.
here's what I'm saying to y'all. Look it, fake it till you make it. Just say it.
Do
Fake
it.
it. Do you
Do it.
think for 1 minute that any of us that has any kind of sobriety made it through any of those early years without faking it? But let's talk about the mind. Help us with the
Hmm.
mind now. You mentioned the 9 year, the 1 year. I walk around like fresh start, fresh start. I see a spider web, and I'm like, honey, fresh start for you too.
Yep. Yep. Beautiful. And it is getting into the mind, right? First off, turning off false realities. We had that
Mm.
little itty bitty committee, lack of a better phrase, in our mind that says, you're not good enough for that, or you shouldn't feel that way, or why are you thinking about that? We need to say, hey, I hear you. Enough is enough, right? You turn that part off. The intrusive thoughts that come in, or the false realities, the false stories we create in our mind. Well, this person said this, and I said this, but I should have said this instead. Turn it off. That you are giving your energy away to things that are not even real. They're not even real. Doom scrolling, I mentioned it earlier. I
Tell people
love,
what that means. Tell
oh,
people what that means
yes.
because my buddy likes to get those pop-ups at night before you go to bed that tells you about all the crapola that went on.
Yes, yes. So I never even really put two and two together with this because I occasionally just get on Facebook or TikTok or Instagram and I'm just, oh, look at my friend's puppy and the puppy's getting so big and it's really fun to see the positive things, but you can get sucked in really quick. And then the human mind goes, "Oh, they're doing better than I am. I need to keep up with the Joneses. I should go out and do this. I need to do that. Or my picture's not good enough to be putting on Facebook, or my video's not good enough to be putting on TikToks. I have done so many TikToks just to break open the shell of being on stage, if you will. And I look back and that little itty bitty in my mind goes, "Oh, you did not do that one well."
I
But
know.
then you reframe it and go, "What a lesson." What a lesson. I learned how to angle this all up. So, doom scrolling is constantly being on social media, getting the dopamine hits, the serotonin hits, the going from this to this to this to this to this to this. And it's not a healthy distraction. You think you're taking a break for 15 minutes to get grounded before you go back in to do your job? You're not. You are distracting yourself with everybody else's funnies or not funnies. I know somebody who watches YouTube in bed before they go to bed and they watch very dark things, things about crimes and
Mm,
murder mysteries. And I'm like, yo, you are going into bedtime with that in your subconscious. Cut it out. That's where the brain is, right? You have to be able to work with your brain and say, enough is enough.
yeah. So we're going to talk about a couple ways to care with capacity, but I want people to know again how to get a hold of you, how to join your group, because we
Mm.
can care. We're not telling people not to care.
Mm-mm.
I'm telling you, I would jump in a foxhole for my best friend. But tell
Absolutely.
us how we get a hold of you because going into next year, we don't want to carry stuff. So talk a little bit about the best way you can help people.
Absolutely. Please certainly feel free to reach out to me on any of the socials. I just mentioned the socials. Don't doom scroll my TikToks, please. But you can always connect with me on socials under Ascending Dawn, as in the break of dawn, DAWN, or Ascending Dawn Doula, but also my website of Ascending Dawn, DAWN, Doula, DOULA.com, but also on School, SKOOL. It's an awesome platform, and I'm building a community there of people that we've actually connected with, clients, workshop, folks that are really interested in learning, growing at their own pace with lots of complimentary podcasts and presentations and all kinds of fun things, but community as well.
I love it.
So
Now,
here you go. Instead of doom scrolling, you
yeah.
go for micro learning instead. You want to learn about the chakras? Come on over. Right? You
Okay,
want to learn about tarot? Come on over.
or you could go and do what we are setting up for you all for next year, transformation scrolling. So simple ways.
Ooh.
Give us a couple of tips on how to deal with capacity instead of collapse.
Oh, perfect. When you wake up in the morning, say thank you for another day
You
and mean it,
bet. You
right?
dang right.
You start your day off right just with a thank you. You clear your space from any dreamlands with energy hygiene. You do what you got to do to get ready. You start your day, you do your things, but know that people are going to come into your path that are going to possibly irritate you or make you angry or really kind of, tick you off with driving from point A to point B. Give some grace, give some kindness, release that energy. You also need to have boundaries. So if someone's really pushing, 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 then you be firm and say, listen, my goal here is to do A, B, C, D. If we can't accomplish A, B, C, D, then we'll have to come back to it another day. And then at night, eat something good, drink a lot of water, clear that headspace, clear the energy, and rest so that you're not waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning reevaluating the whole darn day in a negative way.
I gave a letter to the postman. He put it in his sack. Bright early next morning, he brought my letter back. Return to sender. Ugh. No such number, no such zone. We
Oh my
had a
gosh.
quarrel. I'm telling you, that is the perfect. I am never going to forget what you said today.
Mm-mm.
Elvis
And I'm
said
going to
it.
start dancing in my workshops now because of this. I
You
will
got
stand
to
up
do.
and do it. I'll
But you
pull
see,
Elvis.
it's so perfect. You know, he sends the letter back with special delivery. And he keeps saying, return to sender, address unknown. Thank you so much for this
Thank you.
because, see, the work that you do and how you do it is very different. You are an optimist. You understand the realm of a numerology number 9 and a 1. You understand when I said to you, new moon in Sagittarius, now we're
Oh yeah.
coming into it.
Oh yeah.
This is a fresh start time. I would love to know your personal message. What would you like to, and please, I can't sing, so I already know that I'm off key. Hello. Sierra's going to pull that clip and send it. I know it. I don't care.
Yeah.
But what's your personal message?
Well, as you say, return to sender. My mailman is dropping off the envelopes right now. So beautiful timing with that. My personal message, release any energy that is not working for you. Please, as you go into this new year, know it is a new year. You don't have to have New Year's resolutions or intentions. Just be kind to yourself. Give yourself grace, but return energy to sender because compassion fatigue is real and we have to level up.
And my conversation to all of you, I want to leave you with this. Get a hold of Jennie Sykes. We'll see you next time.
Aw.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Thank you for tuning in with me, Jennie Sykes of Ascending Dawn Doula. Please tune in every fourth Tuesday at 11 Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern on Transformation Talk Radio. If this resonated with you, share it with someone who's walked with you through a transition. And if you're curious about how to align with your purpose, with your path, come find me at ascendingdawndoula.com or Ascending Dawn on socials. Thanks again for listening. Keep rising, and I will see you next time.